Welcome back to Ask the Experts radio show, where we interview local professionals and experts in their field. Once again, we had Roger Wakefield from Texas Green Plumbing, and he's interviewing David Johnson of Plumber's Choice Water. If you'd like to get a hold of Roger, it's going to be 972-442-4101. Or if you'd like to call David Johnson, it's 615-866-6100. If you'd like to call the radio show and ask a question, our number here is 214 or 817-787-1190. All right, Roger, y'all were talking about YouTube earlier, and, I'm just wondering, why do you focus so much on YouTube?
YouTube is the second largest search engine on the internet. And most people don't even realize that. They think there's Google, there's Bing, there's Yahoo. Google's number one and YouTube is number two. And the good thing is with the video content that we're putting out, if we were just trying to just sell something, that it wouldn't do us any good. But literally, if people subscribe to my channel, which is The Expert Plumber, they literally learn how plumbing works or how to do plumbing or the difference between commercial and residential, union and non-union, service and new construction. And it's crazy. I'm a little plumber here in Richardson, Texas, and I just looked at analytics this morning. I went into the office and worked for a while. Right now, I've got 800 hours view time a month. Wow. Okay? A month. That's what, 48,000 minutes a month that people are watching my videos.
That's awesome.
Okay? And the reason is the content we're putting out, I'm not trying to sell them anything.
Yeah,
whether they buy from me or not, you know what? Hey, it is what it is.
There's a lot of plumbers that don't like you for that.
Oh, yeah. I get those calls, too. Yeah. Why are you taking money out of our pockets? I'm not. I'm just.
Damn you, Roger!
I'm showing a homeowner how to change a flapper or a fill valve or
give him back a little bit,
or how we installed a water filtration system. We've done that. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different things that I do, but YouTube to me it's TV of the future. I mean, we can pick what we want to watch. If I want to find out how to change a tire, and I've never done that, I can go to YouTube and watch a video that'll show me step by step how to do it. And that's what we're getting to these days.
Yeah, it's direct target marketing.
And we have fun. I got to meet Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, here a couple of months back, and did a quick interview with him. And we actually.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
You've never heard of Gary V?
Sorry, I'm not in the know.
Anthony. This guy.
Does he have something to do with YouTube?
Well, not just YouTube, but social media in general. He teaches people. He does videos and he educates people, but he teaches them how it all works and ties together and how to get your word out there. And that's what we started doing. And it's really funny because April the 1st, I had 1 subscriber. And
last year?
April 1st of this last year.
Okay.
And it's so funny because David and Nicole were out eating breakfast yesterday, and they ran into my 1 subscriber who was the guy, my first video guy. And today, I've got almost 650, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're getting that many minutes of view time a month, it's huge. I mean, think about it. People are sitting in front of their iPads, their phones, or their computers watching my videos for almost 800 hours a month. That blows my mind.
That's awesome. I mean, you're in a good business, but you might want to think about other ventures. I mean, I'm just saying, you have a face for radio.
I've definitely got a face for radio. Either that or the most wanted poster, one or the other. But that's how we got started on YouTube, and it's really grown. And I use great products. I use vidIQ, and that kind of helps me with some different things to do on YouTube. I've got a great coach out of McKinney, and we talk with him weekly, me and my videographer, Will, and we meet on a regular basis. We talk. He actually came to the office yesterday. We're wanting to build a studio. Eventually, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to build our own studio.
Aww.
And I'm going to have sponsors, and I'm going to have guests come in just like this and do what we're doing. But the thing is, our videos are being watched by plumbers, by homeowners, by people that want to get into plumbing, by real estate agents. It's a broad group that we've got, and it's been really good. But
Giving back.
I'm trying to give back, exactly, which is why you got into the water filtration deal.
Right.
So we've talked about your filtration system, and you've mentioned some other ones. Is there really a different quality level? Can you buy a cheap one and it do as good as a good one, or can you buy a really, really expensive one and it do worse than a bad one?
Sure. There are all sorts of different types. It could drive you crazy. You start looking into water treatment, and looking at all the different stuff online or what have you, and it could literally drive you batty. So all filters are not created equal, though. What we need is what's called retention time. Or contact time with that carbon. So if you're dealing with a whole house carbon filter, you want to have quite a bit of carbon in it because you've got, 3, 4, 5, 8 gallons a minute going through that system. So it's really important to size it properly. That's why it was our mission to go through service contractors, plumbers primarily, because they're able to identify what's going to be the best solution for your house, what size it needs to be, etc. What your flow rates need to be, make sure that it's installed proper. And another thing is you can save some money versus going to the water treatment dealers, right? My mission was to bring water treatment to the masses affordably for everybody out there. And we've been able to accomplish that particular mission by selling it through service contractors and the education that they learn. We teach them. We go in and we train companies literally 3 or 4 or 5 times a year to make sure we've got that continued education so that they can be the best and install the systems in there and save you quite a bit of money. So yes, we do. Our carbon filter, we use catalytic carbon. Our head's made here in the United States. We use what's called a clack valve. It's a 3/2 button. It's a smart valve. It's the most efficient. This thing only backwashes every 3 weeks or 3,000 gallons. It does clean itself, so it is maintenance-free once it's been installed. And it's going to be good for about 1.5 million gallons. So if that's a family of 4, that's about 13 to 15 years. If it's just a couple people living there, I think it'll last 25, 30 years.
And you said it backwashes itself. That's my problem with a water softener. It wastes a lot of water.
A lot of water.
And me being a green plumbing company, I'm a lead AP. I really focus on water conservation. Mm-hmm. What's the difference in yours and a water softener?
Okay, so like I said earlier, a water softener removes calcium and magnesium. A water filter removes all the other stuff that we don't want in the water.
Right.
Okay, but there's also alternatives out there. We've got an alternative called Flowtech. Matter of fact, we sell more Flowtech as an anti-scale system. So we're not actually removing anything from the water. We're simply rendering mineral harmless. And it's green. So Texas Green Plumbers and Flowtech is a match made in heaven because there's no wasted water and it's going to address all the mineral. Not only does it eliminate mineral from forming inside your plumbing system, it actually removes existing scale.
So people that have a water softener, does that filter too? Or does it just soften the water?
Just softens the water. So it's going to remove the calcium and magnesium.
And my big thing on the water softeners, I tell people, if you love them, you get a silky feeling. Exactly. If you hate them, you get a slimy feeling. Right. It's the same feeling. It just depends on how you feel about it.
Yeah.
So the impurities in the water, or not the water, the impurities in the copper, the chlorine and the chloramine eat those up. The calcium and magnesium in the water, the anti-scale device leaves them rendered in the water so that, we get them. I mean, we need the calcium and magnesium. Those are good for our bodies.
That's exactly right. There's the solution it's called physical water treatment. And physical water treatment's been around for decades, okay? And it's basically chemical-free water treatment. And to be honest, it's been very inconsistent for decades. It's never really worked very well in a residential house because these are magnets or they're coil-wrapped devices, and what's called their field of influence is only below this particular area, right? And what happens in a residential home, the water's not always flowing. So somebody might flush a toilet, the water runs for a period of time, and then it stops, right? You take a shower, water runs and it stops. You got to work. So really these other devices really don't work because they're flow dependent. But fortunately, we got this technology called Flowtech from the oil fields. Matter of fact, down in Houston, working with Weatherford, started working with them 10, 11, 12 years ago, where you pump oil out of the ground. It's not just oil. There's minerals and water that precipitate out as well.
Right.
And it was a big problem. So ultimately, technology has evolved, and we found how to render mineral harmless by sending a low AM band radio frequency into the fluid. And now people don't need water softeners. Matter of fact, we sell all water treatment, and we sell about 40 to 50 Flowtech anti-scale systems to one softener we sell now because people don't want to deal with the salt, the slick, slimy feel, the water waste, etc. So there's a great solution out there, and Flowtech is patented. You can only get it through Plumber's Choice or through our service contractors. We work with about 400 different plumbing companies across the country. So if you're listening to this on, on your phone, on a website or what have you, at 1190.
Yeah, we also have an app. It's called the iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, you can hear us all over the world right now.
Yeah.
So I personally, what I believe is a whole house carbon filter to address the chlorine, chloramine, herbicides, pesticides, and a Flowtech descaler is what I've got on my house, and that's what I recommend to most homeowners that are on city water, that have hard water, obviously. If you don't have hard water, then you don't need either one.
And that's actually what we put on. And it's so funny you mentioned that. And I know we're going to go to a break in a minute, but there are companies here in town that are selling a different brand water filtration system, Aqua, Sana, something like that. And they're telling them that it'll take the chemicals out and it'll make the water better, softer, or whatever, which it doesn't. What they don't tell them is they're going to have to change these filters every 6 months at least. And, the other thing that they don't tell them is that that's not all they need. It's not resolving the whole issue of what they've got. But here's my biggest problem, like you said. I teach my guys when they go into a house, check people's water. Exactly. Do a chlorine test, do a hardness test, and that way you tell people this is what they got. They're just going in based on, hey, we live in Dallas, everybody's got hard water. I hate to say it, everybody doesn't. It depends on where you live, where the water treatment is, a lot of different factors. So there's things to look at and things to know. Make sure that if somebody's trying to sell you one, they are at least checking your water to show you what you've really got.
Oh, yeah.
And
Testing's so important.
It's huge. And a lot of these companies that are trying to sell these every day aren't doing it. And I've talked to them about it because they've asked me, will you train my people? Well, why do I want to train them to sell a bad system?
Right.
And I don't necessarily believe in that. So, Anthony, we are getting ready to go into the fourth quarter. What you got?
Oh, I got our phone numbers for us real quick, just so we can go to break, and come back and get the last segment in. But, guys, if you are just now joining us real quick, if you want to get a hold of Roger with Texas Green Plumbing, it's 972-442-4101 or on the World Wide Web at texasgreenplumbing.com. That's texasgreenplumbing.com. Or David Johnson with Plumber's Choice Water. It's on the World Wide Web at plumberschoicewater.com. That's plumberschoicewater.com, 615-866-6100. If you'd like to call our radio show, it's 214 or 817-787-1190. We are Ask the Experts radio show on Talk Radio 1190, and we'll be right back right after these messages. So please stay with us.